1 minute. Literally going to be talking about some things that's going on with the live stream as well as what's going on with me, Oh, excuse me. This is called, this one is called I'd rather be good than look good. I have a lot of people that have been asking me pretty much about, oh, you're doing the live stream. Why aren't you promoting it? Why don't you do all these other things? And I'm like, man, I will, but I wanna make sure I get it right before I kind of put it out to the masses. A lot of these podcast episodes, I guess we can call them live streams. A lot of these live streams are like practice for me. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things I want to do with this, but I need to make sure I learn the equipment and I learn all these other things. And then, I keep hearing, well, this person's doing this and this person's doing that. And I said, that's cool. That's great that that's what they're doing. But, I got to do it my way. I actually I was listening to a motivational video that took quotes from Jay-Z, Mr. Sean Carter is what I like to call him. And it was pretty much about, there was a quote in there that said, um, don't let other people push their fears onto you. And I said this in another episode that I just did recently. You guys can follow me on the 1028 podcast on Facebook as well as on YouTube. We got that going. Instagram is popping as well. And don't forget about the Twitter. Elon Musk dropping a sync on them. You can follow us on all of these things. And, I'll put the link in the comments section. But just wanted to say, that's what's going on. I'm not really trying to keep up with the Joneses. I put that in the comments. I really want to do what I do, and when I'm doing it, I want to do it well. So there was a reason why I didn't really promote this thing like other people are promoting it. Right? First, I want to knock out the kinks, and I feel like if I do that, when it does go to the masses, it will make a bigger impact. I'm not trying to wait for all the stars to align, but I'm just trying to do it the right way. And there's a way I like to do things, and I'm trying to do it right. I'm trying to make sure I'm not just throwing things at you just because I can throw them at you. I want to make sure every time that I'm on this channel, I'm adding value. So, I had a few failed attempts doing these streams, and I'm grateful for it because it was a great learning process. So I'm just getting everything right, getting the audio right and everything like that, waiting for a few more people to hop on. And then we're going to get this thing started, and I can really dig in deep about what's going on with me, what's going on with the channel. I actually did try to invite a few people, which has been really cool. I see a few people hopping on. Daryl's hopping on. What's going on, Daryl? And trying to up the game a little bit at a time. I don't want to invite everybody to something that is still kind of in the growing stages. So this is definitely working out. What's up, Daryl? How you doing, brother? My man, my main man. My mom's on there as well. Hey, what's going on, mama? How you guys doing? So I guess the invite thing is starting to work a little bit, so that's really cool. So let me get started, man. Let me get started. Keeping up with the Joneses is sometimes killing the progress. Um, I was listening to one of my mentors, and they gave me a statement that said, when you're listening to somebody, like say you had a mentor and they're telling you, they're pointing at the direction, they're pointing at the moon, like go that direction. A lot of times what we do innately is not look at the moon, we look at the finger that's pointing to the moon. And what that means is that's a wild statement, but it's very deep when you kind of break it down, right? A lot of times people are giving you direction and you're trying to not go that direction. You're trying to do what the person that's telling you what to do. You're trying to do what they do instead of doing what you do. And I think it's really important to know that when you're out there seeking information from different resources, that you have to take another step. It's not just the step of getting the information, but it's applying it to your situation. That is more important, I think, than just even. I mean, it's not a one-step thing. It's a few steps to take before you can implement that into your situation. I get a lot of information from what Jay Z does, or what Oprah Winfrey does, or what Eric Thomas does, but I also have to remember that they're on their level and I'm on my level. So I have to apply this not the way that they apply it. I have to apply it to what I'm doing. And a lot of times when we're trying to do what someone else is doing, what that does is that's comparison kills joy. I always say that. Oh, I got a few likes, man. I got a few likes. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hey, D, Daryl, man, I got to talk to you. I got a show coming up as well, since I'm sorry to cut in this, but D, I got to talk to you. I got a show coming up, and I might need a DJ, man. So that's my guy. Hey, what's going on, everybody? All right, so let me get back to the story, right? Get back to this whole segment. A lot of times when we compare ourselves to someone else, what that does is kill joy. I said it in another podcast that no one can be. I always tell artists, no one can do it. No one can be Picasso like Picasso can be Picasso. You know what I'm saying? It's good to be influenced by somebody, but it's not good to try to be that person because you'll never win at that. You'll never win at that game. It's an impossible goal to reach. So it's always important to understand, like, there's a point to follow and there's also going to be a point in your journey when you have to lead. It just has to happen like that. You can't follow someone to the top. You only can follow them to a certain level, and then you have to make the other step, and that is to lead and to go off of the information you gathered and take that onto your journey. Because if you don't do that, what you're doing is not living your life, you're living someone else's. And that's not being authentic. And I can't say the end of that situation is going to end up being something that's going to bring value to you. It may actually cause a lot of problems because when you get to that certain level, you don't know what direction to go instead of using the information you gained to create a destination. And hopefully that makes sense because I was kind of all over the place with that. But it's a thing. It's a thing. You guys, I'm letting you know you're watching the 1028, man. Please follow. Please go on to the 1028 on YouTube as well as Facebook. And you can definitely see all of this. All this will be recorded and it'll be able to be accessed. The purpose of this channel is to make sure that the time you leave this channel, you're a better person than when you found it. So we're going to try to add some value by talking about certain situations, you know. Hey, what's going on, Greg? How you doing, my friend? Nate, how's it going? It's good to see everybody on here, man. It's really a good feeling. For those hopping on, I'm actually talking about how comparison kills joy, and sometimes trying to keep up with the Joneses or all of the time trying to keep up with the Joneses is probably killing your progress. So the point of this whole thing is, and why I came up with this statement was because I've been getting a lot of questions, a lot of people asking me about this live stream. Let me change the camera angle so I'm talking to you. I've been having a lot of people ask me about this live stream and why I'm not promoting it to the masses, and there's a reason for that. I want to make sure I'd rather be good than look good is the title, and that's what I'm talking about. I wanted to make sure before I do put this into the public and I do initial drop that I have all the bugs worked out. So when we're talking and we're trying to talk about these certain things, it'll hit a lot better. I didn't want to do a stream where it's spotty, or I remember Greg, you actually you actually hit the comments saying the levels were bad. So what I did was I took that information from some of the tests that I was doing these streams and I applied it to my situation. That was so important, is to do a test run. There's a story called Shoot Bullets Before You Shoot Cannonballs, and I'm actually going to drop this story on you now. It's a good story to tell you about how not to put all of the eggs in one basket and to lightly approach a goal. test the waters a little bit before you put all your energy into it and throw it at it. You don't want to throw all your energy at a target when you're not sure if this is even the right target that you're shooting at. So this is a story that helps you implement a certain strategies to approach things, so you're not going to be left with nothing else to go at it with. You know what I mean? And the story goes like this. Imagine you're on a boat. Yeah, I'm talking about a boat here. You're on a boat and you're in the water, and there's other boats in the water as well. Or there's a boat across from you that is shooting at you and trying to sink your boat. And all you have to protect yourself on this boat is a cannon, some gunpowder, and a cannonball. Now, there's a way that you can stop this boat from shooting at you, right? You can take all of this gunpowder, because you only have one cannonball. Put the cannonball in there, fill all the gunpowder in there, and shoot at that boat. But if you miss the boat, if you miss your target, then you're kind of dead in the water, literally, because that boat's going to sink you. It's going to keep attacking you. But there's another approach to protect yourself in this situation. And what it is that same gunpowder is sitting there. You take a little bit of it, you put it into maybe a gun, right? And the whole thing is called shoot bullets before you shoot cannonballs. I'm not one of them people that highlight guns and thinks guns are a good thing. Sometimes I think they're good for you to protect yourself, but I think there's a lot of problems with that. But anyway, let me get back to the story. You take the gunpowder, you put it into, you take a little bit of gunpowder, you put it into the gun, and you shoot. Now, you may not hit the target. You may be 30 yards off, but there's a beauty in that. Because you still have gunpowder left, and you still have your gun, and you still have your cannonball. You're able to shoot again, right? So you take a little more gunpowder, you put it in the gun, and you shoot again. Now you're about 15 meters off. You're getting closer to your target. So you continue that process. You take the gunpowder, you put it in the gun, and you shoot again. You're about 5 meters off. All you have to do is recalibrate and make sure that the next shot is at that boat that's attacking you, right? So you do it again. Take the gunpowder, pop it in there, and you shoot. Now you hear a ricochet, you hear a ting. You're like, oh, I hit the target. But do not take all that gunpowder and put it in the cannon and shoot the cannonball yet. What you want to do is you want to make sure you got confirmation that the target is the target. So you do it one more time with the same aim that you're doing, and you hit it again. And this time, you hear the ting. Now that's confirmation that this is where I should shoot the cannonball, right? So take all the gunpowder, put it in the cannon, shoot the cannonball, bang, you sink the boat. So the analogy of this whole story is the fact that, when you're approaching something, you shouldn't approach it by throwing everything at it. You should test the waters, because if you throw everything at it and you miss, you'll have nothing left. So it's important to make sure when you're going at it that you put some feelers out there to make sure that this is the target that you actually want to shoot at. So when you do put everything you got into it, because to accomplish something, it is important to put everything you got into it. But knowing when to do that is also an important thing to identify. So just another story. Hopefully you guys are getting some value out of this, and hopefully it's this is resonating with you guys. All right. So let's continue, right? Let's continue. So that's what I did with this whole streaming. That's the thing I did. I wanted to make sure before I put everything into this and actually launch it, I wanted to make sure I knocked out all the kinks, get the audio right. So when I do present it to the world like I'm doing right now, thank you guys for sitting here watching, that it can be something that is quality-wise is good, and it's something where you can actually get the information and then it's not broken up. We all know social media is so hard to hold attention on this thing, and the littlest thing can deter somebody. And by them not watching, they may miss one of the gems that I'm trying to present, and that can change their whole projection. And I can't do it just me. I got to do it with everybody. So if you guys hear something that you're liking, you hear something that is on this that you feel, that you want to talk about, that's what this whole podcast or this whole stream is about. It's about the communication. It is the one thing that is missing. If any problems that are happening in your life, there is one common denominator that is in every problem, and that is communication. And it's sometimes not communicating with somebody else. Sometimes it's communicating with yourself, of understanding what the terrain is. It's not looking at what it could be, but looking at what it is. Or communication in a relationship. That causes turmoil. Communication with a business partner, that'll cause turmoil. All problems come with that in the formula. You know what I'm saying? So just remember that. And that's why I want you guys to communicate with me on this platform, to help me navigate not just the episode, but maybe I can direct a certain energy or a certain, maybe some of the information I've obtained on my journey, uh, to answer your questions, and as well as give me questions to think about. I think that's dope too. So besides that, we're going to move forward. We're going to move forward. Okay, so um, the next thing I would like to talk about, and I think may be important, is about the ability to identify when you're being true to yourself. Now that's a deep one. The ability to identify when you're being true to yourself and when you're deterring otherwise. You're going off of that path. In my quest to this thing we call life, in this journey, um, I can say I grew up younger and I had a lot of problems. I had so many little issues that I had to figure out, going into school, always trying to have the best Jordans, always trying to, do what the popular kids were doing, trying to always do what I was seeing instead of being who I am. And that caused a lot of the problems. And I didn't find that out until later in life, going through therapy, going through these situations, and they continued to happen every time. They continued to happen. And I realized when I was approaching anything in life, I wasn't approaching it for me. I was approaching it for the perception of the public. What are people going to think of me? I always put everyone else in my formula of understanding if I'm doing right or doing wrong. I was getting value not from my actual situations, but validation from my peers. That is dangerous. And I didn't realize how dangerous it was until I said, and excuse my language, I said F it. I said F it. I'm just going to do me. As I went through therapy, and I would always talk about my problems, I found something that was common in the way that I was speaking. Every problem that I had was attached to someone else. So I thought of it like, oh, I made that problem bigger. When you have a real problem, the problems that I'd like to really focus on and to really identify as actual problems are problems that that when I speak of them, no one else is involved in that problem. It is about me. If you talking about if you're journaling or you're talking with somebody about a problem and it doesn't involve someone else, those are the problems that you want to really focus on first. You know what I mean? It's not the ones that people are connected to. It's the ones when you're looking in the mirror and you're not feeling right. Your ability to look at yourself and be proud of yourself is the start to greatness, to that thing that you want. That's where it starts. It's not about anybody else but you. But you. It's not about your wife. It's not about your kids. Remember, it's about the person in the mirror. Because if that person is not good, everything that they're trying to do is going to be contaminated because they're not one with themselves, guys. And like I said, these are things that I've acquired for myself to help me identify. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a life coach or anything of that nature. I am just bringing some of the things that I identified on this journey, on this beautiful journey we call life, because we know it's beautiful. And I'm telling you, it's the most beautiful struggle. It is a struggle, but it's a beautiful one. And it's all worth it. Identifying these problems, going through issues and problems and of those sorts, the best things in life come from, a lot of times, this is hard to say, but the best things in life a lot of times come from the worst situations, because that's where you identify the problems. That's when the problems are exposed. And as long as you know that the problems are there and you're able to identify them, it's beautiful because it to gives you something to work with. It gives you a direction. In a boxing ring, it's not the punch they see coming that knocks them out. It's always the one they don't see. The one they see, they can brace for. You know what I mean? That's important. Remember that. All right. So, let's get back to it, right? So, let me go back. So, I was talking about having problems without someone else attached to that problem is the real problems that I feel like the primary problems that you need to really try to solve. And it will, the residual of that will be the problems with everybody else will disappear. Maybe not disappear, but they'll be less harmful, right? So as I went through therapy, I realized I almost lost my thought, but as I went through therapy, I realized that you know my biggest issues with other people were resolved once I resolved my problems with the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror, that individual. And I realized having core values, having something to stand on, was is important. But the most important thing is identifying what those things are, if I can say it like that. So how did I do that? When it came down to it, oh man, it's getting a little deep. It's getting a little deep. Um, when it came down to it, I realized that I don't know if I can really even say that, but I'm going to. That the issues that I've dealt with, uh, the worst things in life that ever happened to me, and that everybody can say that because everybody's life is more important to themselves as it is to someone else, which is okay. That's not a bad statement. Um, I heard a quote from Steve Harvey that said, um, "No one's perfect, but everyone is perfect at something." Every last one of y'all, everybody is watching. I'm telling you right now, there is one thing that you are, I guarantee you are absolutely perfect at, and that is that you're 100% of this. You have survived every crappy day of your life. Every crappy day of your life, you survived. You have 100% success rating. Yeah, perfect. A plus. So anything that you're going through, believe me, you can count on you. You can count on you to acquire that and accomplish that. You can count on you because of that. It's the proof's in the pudding. So there's nothing out there that's too big for you to handle. It's just that are you ready to handle it, right? But that kind of deters from where I was going. When I was talking with my therapist and I was going through those different things I was talking about, trying to identify who I am, there was something that came across me where um, it why it's important to understand and identify those problems that only you're attached to is this: what someone else says about you and someone else thinks about you is not going to determine anything in your life. It has no value of what's going to happen in your life. The only thing that matters, the only thing that counts, not what someone else says about you. The most important thing is what you say about you. That is the only thing that's going to have any type of effect on your life. what someone else thinks about you is not your business. It's not your business. That's their business. But what you think about you, that's your business. You got to run that thing. You got to run that thing like Jeff Bezos or something. You know what I mean? That's your Amazon. That's the primary focus, and it always should be. And I think this has been a good run, man. This is once again, guys. This is the 1028. I'm gonna put in the comments my channel. Let me see if I can get this thing right. Hopefully, I can get this thing up where you guys can follow. And let me post that. And I just posted it. Don't forget to click on the 1028 and give that a follow if you're not following. All right. We're going to have a lot more of these conversations, and I'm so glad that everybody stepped on today. And hopefully, the goal of this channel is to make sure that you leave a better person than you found it. So hopefully, this has brought some value to you. Hopefully, this is something. You caught something today that you can take with you to make your tomorrows better than your yesterdays. All right, that's what this is about. So have a beautiful day. Go out there, do something beautiful. This is the most people I've had on here so far. So I guess I'm gonna start inviting everybody too. I think it's time to initially make that step. And thank you guys for making this such a pleasurable moment. And so proud of each and every one of y'all for sticking around. Not just because it's me, but hopefully for something you can catch in this that you could take forward for your life. For sticking around for you, not for me. Sticking around for you. That was more important. Have a great day. Go out there, do something beautiful. Remember, this world is a blank canvas, and it's up to each and every one of us to grab our brush and help paint this masterpiece together. All right. Once again, this is the 1028. I'm Corey Ochai. You can look in the comment section and follow the 1028, where you'll be finding a lot of this as well. And also, don't forget about the YouTube channel, guys. All of this is going to be recorded directly to the YouTube channel, the 1028, so you can go follow that and rewatch it if you guys came in late or you missed anything. Have a beautiful day. I'm out. I need to get some theme music as well. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, we gotta spice this up a little bit. It's a little dry without the music. I think I can add some drama with it. Have a good one, y'all. Bye bye.